Tonight, as you know, we conclude the series with a Swedish film, another Swedish film, The Garbage Helicopter. We will begin the evening with a keynote address by Dr. Radmila Mladenova, who is a scholar of literature and film studies and a scientific lead of the Critical Film and Image Hub. Her research focuses on the representation of Sinti and Roma in film, with a particular emphasis on visual anti-Gypsyism. Dr. Mladenova is a widely recognized authority on this subject. She has published a lot of works. I will just mention one, The White Mask and the Gypsy Mask in Film, which was published in 2022. And in this book, she examines the visual and narrative mechanisms through which anti-Gypsy stereotypes have been produced and perpetuated throughout European film and beyond. Through her research, Dr. Mladenova has made significant contributions to our understanding on how cinema shapes social perceptions of Roma communities and how film can serve as a medium for critical reflection. Following the keynote, we will watch the film, of course, and then after the screening, Dr. Mladenova will be joined by two very special guests and key contributors to the film, actually. We have here with us Angelina Dimiter-Taikon and Mikael Demetri. Thank you for being here tonight. Okay. They are both Romani educators, authors, advisors with decades of experience in education, public policy, and community engagement in Sweden. And throughout their careers, they have worked tirelessly to advance the rights, representation, and inclusion of Romani communities. As I shared, they also have a very personal connection to tonight's film, as Mikael Demetri served as an advisor on The Garbage Helicopter to ensure that the film's portrayal of Romani experience was thoughtful and respectful. Angelina Dimiter-Taikon appears in the film herself as an actress. She plays the role of the mother, as you will see. She is also active in the association Le Romane Nevimata and has worked as a lecturer and course coordinator at Södertörn University. There, she contributed to the training of Roma mediators working with public administration across Sweden. She has also authored several academic publications on Romani issues. Welcome to all three of you. We are looking forward to the discussion after the film, but also to open up the floor for your comments and questions after the panel discussion. Ed, what came easy to you? What did you enjoy particularly about being an actress in a movie?
I was very used before this to be on television, because when we have something about the activism and everything, we have a lot of television coming and make some interview, but then it's action. And here we have to repeat a lot of things several times, and every time we need the same clothes, the same earring, everything the same. So it was a little bit difficult, yes, but the lines wasn't difficult. But those who know Romani perhaps heard that there are two different majority of Romani we are speaking. The three young people are Lovari, and the old woman and me are Kelderash. So it's a little bit different, but it's from the same language, but who is used to hear Romani, they could hear it.
Thank you very much. Mikael, you were an advisor on the film. Can you tell us a bit about what it means? What is this particular role? What does it entail? And give us some examples of the concrete tasks you had during the filming and the production.
Okay, ma'am. Give me 1 minute of Jonas. Is his pending? minne.
He wants everybody to stand up to remember of Jonas.
När Jonas kom hem och hans filmteam kom hem till mig,
When Jonas and his team did arrive at home at our place,
de kollade hela våningen,
they checked around in the flat what we have.
de kollade köket, tv-rummet, alla rum, alla sängkläder, för vi har stora bolster.
They checked around in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in all the rooms, and it was very exciting for them to see the big pillows that we have, who is 1 meter and 1 meter. So big pillows. Grandma was sleeping like this on the big pillows. So a lot of things that he saw, he make a picture how he will build the scenes.
Jag fick manusen av Jonas.
He did give us the manus. It's called in English manus. The script, okay?
Yes. Då läste jag den.
He did read it.
Efter 2 veckor kommer de tillbaka, filmteamet.
After 2 weeks, the team went back to our flat.
Och då säger jag till Jonas, Jonas, bli inte arg på mig.
Then he said to Jonas, don't get angry at me.
Vi måste ändra.
We have something we need to change.
Det första det var en scen som är totalt förbjudet. Gelderat-gruppen, Lovari-gruppen.
There was one scene that it's taboo in all the Romani groups, almost.
Det var en kärleksscen.
It was a love scene.
Och därefter säger jag till honom, Jonas, bli inte arg igen. Vi skakar inte hand.
Then he said also, don't get angry, but we don't shake hands, the Romani people.
Vi säger till dem, välsignande deras resa.
When we see someone coming or leaving, we make a blessing.
Okay, thank you very much. Radmila, question to you. You talked about this recipe that you discovered while watching hundreds of these films. Could you tell us a bit about the functions they have for the film industry, for filmmakers, but also for the audience and maybe for society as a whole?
Well, I think it's a little bit difficult. Can you hear me? Does it work? It's a little bit difficult to talk about problematic films after this one and explain their functions. Angelina was saying that luckily it's not a film where women had to crawl out from the hole being ashamed of what they have to see. And now I heard that love scenes are taboo. So I can give you one example, Carmen. I mean, a lot of the anti-gypsyist films are a free territory to explore women's sexuality and everything that's forbidden about it, for instance. So racist films, anti-gypsyist films perform a lot of functions for the majority society. It's a space of freedom to explore taboo topics. But what it happens is then it becomes really a taboo for the people onto whom this is projected. So they have to protect themselves by imposing immigrated taboos within their own culture. I was also thinking like stories like Carmen and the like are so familiar. So with such stories, you can tell a really thrilling story which will keep here the audience to the last visitor. Because you kind of know the story, and you'll have a lot of sex, and you'll have betrayal, and you'll have murder, and you have all this kind of music and dance and all this kind of immersive, enthralling type of spectacle, which is not part of your culture, but gives you the freedom to enjoy that, all that you're not allowed to do as a factory worker, say, as someone who has to be punctual to work. And what Jonas tried to do, I mean, I've seen several times his film, and I'm still grappling with what he tried to do, to create new way of seeing, to create new stories, but to bring them over, you need time. You need to familiarize someone with a clock in order to people to start noticing that this clock is used like a human being. It's treated like a human being in the film, and something happens, and at the end it chimes. Why? You know, no one knows this story. So in order to see the story, you need this kind of slow motion and patience with the motive for it to gather speed and meaning and depth. And you have a lot of such moments in the film, and I'm watching and still collecting ideas of how to piece together that which he told with images, how to piece or extract the meaning out of it. I hope this answers your question. So I try to connect it to the film better. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
It's a very common thing when you see a person who are a little bit dark or something, then you start to speak English. And that was a thing that he recognized, that they didn't know which language to speak to us. And everybody say, vi pratar svenska, because we are bilingual, everybody. So this was a thing that he wanted to be in the film. And he also see us do a lot of smoking. So this is also one part he put on the picture. But after, when I look now, I could see something else. This thing about the cigarette. If you look at old pictures and everything that the police or people take on the Roma, everybody have a cigarette in the mouth. And the guy who was taking the picture, he did give to all the people cigarette and put in the... So that's a stereotype thing that all the Roma smoke, but we are a smoker, everybody.
Thank you very much. Considering the time, I would like now to open the floor, because I said I'm very curious. Radmila invited us to approach the film like a crossword puzzle and think about the metaphors and the symbols in the film. So now the microphone will travel to you if you want to share with us what you discovered, what the film meant for you. If you have any thoughts, the floor is yours now. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, so there is a microphone traveling to the audience. Anyone want to break the ice?
Maybe while we are collecting our ideas, just to add something on the micro story with the language. I'm curious how someone from the Swedish majority would comment on these scenes, but what I know from anti-Gypsyist films is that you expect the figures to speak the language in a broken way. So everything that happens in this imagined world is wrong, or it's the negative of what's right. Think of Brad Pitt in Snatch. He's speaking some sort of a gibberish language. And I can give another example with Angelina Taikon, who played as a young woman in a short film and later was also invited by a famous Swedish director. I don't have his name right now, but she and her sister, who speak wonderful Swedish, were asked in the film to speak broken Swedish. So for me, this story with the language is like a meta commentary on how imagined gypsy figures are represented in film on the big screen. One way of how one can decode the film, or how I see it through through the lens that I have developed by watching so many films on the topic.
Okay. Do you, the audience, have any questions or comments, questions to our panelists, or comments on the film? Dennis, please.
Thank you very much. I don't have a question, but I just want to share and say that I really like to hear that young people speak and hold the film Romanes. And yeah, you are right. Somebody who can understand that there are two different dialects, Lovari and Calderaș. And it was really nice to hear that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Roma, please.
Sweden was portrayed in a very funny way. I felt with these special sights and kind of empty landscapes, bit of boredom maybe. And I wondered, and I mean the protagonists all looked for some kind of sense, or maybe they were on a mission, that was their sense in the moment, and the younger brother was very poetic, finding his meaning of life in fantasy. But I wondered, like, okay, why? Or to me, the family didn't. Yeah, I was wondering, what makes sense for them? Is it what does Sweden have to offer, kind of, or why is it portrayed like this, and why is and what has family to offer for them? Like, why is there not so much, or what's happening between them? Is it like a silence? Why are they silent all the time? Like, is it a silence because they know each other so well and they don't have anything to say, or like, these were questions coming up in my mind. Maybe you have thoughts on that.
I could tell you something. We was in the middle of nowhere, on a field between two cities near the Nordic circle. And it's a lot of mosquitoes, 30 grades hot, and it was only a field. And I was asking myself, what are we doing here? Because I couldn't understand. But he wanted to show the nature of his landscape where he lived in the northern part of Sweden, because you can drive and drive and drive, and you only see a lot of trees and trees and trees, and suddenly you see one pharmacy, one shop, food, and a gas station. Then it's enough. Hey. Hey. And the woman who was the police in the film, it was his wife. That was the girl he did get married to, because he was very happy when we are making this movie, because he was dating this lovely woman.
Okay, I have one question to you and to the audience. What about the clock? I mean, what I notice very strongly is how they treat the clock like a human being. So it's placed at the back seat with a seat belt. The girl sleeps next to the clock after she takes it from the grandmother. It's it's all the time. It's always under the arm. So why does the grandmother want the clock? Why the children immediately decide to take this long journey across Sweden and bring her the clock? What's the meaning of the clock there?
All people have a lot of senses, and this is the 8th of the senses, because the clock was the soul of the grandmother. It didn't tick before it went home to grandmother, then it starts to tick, and it also make this ding dong, ding dong. So that's why they look after, because it was grandmother they had in the car.
So was she telling them that she was preparing to die? Because this is what someone told me, that
Yes.
people have a special connection to an object, and then you treat the object as if it's the person, and that in this case, she basically called them and said, "I'm ready to die." What was it? Could you say that?
She was ready to have it back because it was a part of her who was missing. And also this dream she has. A lot of Roma people know how to translate dreams. So this dream has something that it told her, but it should be a secret what the dream told her. So you're not telling us? No, I'm not.
Okay, I believe we have another question or comment here.
Yeah, hello to everybody. Thank you very much, der Venzaste. Mislim Joshla, and I just want to say thank you to this amazing film in the way of being really worst for me as a Romney in different ways. But what I would like to know, what would you say? It's all about trauma, because this faces all the time, and as an actress, I know to play something, to create some meanings out of it. I would ask, it's 2015 was it filmed? How would you say the filmmaker or the director would do it from the now perspective, from where we're living now? Because trauma is also a really fixed topic in our communities, varieties. But how would you say would the director create it from today in Sweden? Would he do the same slow motion thing, or would he do?
Yes, he will, perhaps in heaven now, but he had even this film about the Sami that he did make was in slow motion, and they were very serious. But there are some telling that the Roma eye is always crying. And perhaps he saw in the minority people there is something serious, and he couldn't put a finger on it. What is it? Because we smile, we are happy, but our eyes are not always laughing. So he did make us very not to laugh, to be very serious. And it was difficult sometimes because we wanted to laugh. We did make a lot of wrong things, but still we have something in us that could change our face to be very serious. So he find this, I don't know, button to press on, and we suddenly calm down.
Thank you very much. Is there? Okay.
Yeah, Lacho Divis, also from me, I'm Talina. Thank you so much. Nice to care for the movie and everything. I'm really interested in your opinion about if you would be the filmmaker, would you do it more loud or more faster? Because, I mean, I also come from a Sinti family, and normally there's never a moment where we don't talk unless we eat and our mouth is full. So maybe what would be your opinion about it? How would you do it? And also, I wonder, do you think people who are not familiar with the topic of anti-Gypsyism or are Sinti Roma themselves or really into movies would understand the deeper meaning of the movies or of the scenes? Yeah.
A lot of people did understand that we will not do a film that the stereotype Roma who is singing, dancing. We have this gypsy journey where the Roma people are hanging in the trees and playing the guitar. It's crazy because we don't know how to climb even.
This is a scene from Kusturica.
Yes. So for us it was very good to make this movie because I'm at home. Everybody make crosswords. And why do we do crossword? Because it was a very good way to learn how to spell in Swedish. And also this smoking thing, yes, we smoke, but I think it was very important. The husband was working, the children was working, I was making the food and the crosswords. It's very important that too. And the children feel that responsibility to the grandmother. So grandmother, one phone call, shove everybody in the car and go to grandmother because we want to look after our older.
Forskare har de sett svartvit katt. För vi har varit med och gjort tillsammans.
He said, did you see black and white cat? Because we did help to do the translation on that one.
Ai pelnenge IKT sas Romano zakon sas tikadam.
And in that picture, they have a lot of pieces who are from the Roma tradition, or Papomolo, så går det Roven. So.
I have so many questions, I'm sorry. Now that I have the mic, I'll take the opportunity. What about the Holocaust? Because I don't know if the audience noticed, but at some point the girls goes to this art house, and basically what you see is the image of Settler, this iconic image of a girl that for a long time was thought to be a Jewish victim, and in the meantime was discovered that she was Sinti coming from Holland. It's part of the Westerbork film. So what about this element in the film? What did you discuss there, and how did you, like, the girl goes in there and watches this images of
He needed to show the dark history because we did also have a very dark history in Sweden. Everything wasn't glamour when the Roma people arrived 1512 to Stockholm. And the Holocaust, it's something that he could understand because even the Sami did have a lot of trouble with the artifacts that they steal and put in the museum and such a thing. So he wanted to show that everything is not okay. Even the Roma people have been in the Holocaust, because sometimes in Sweden they did forget that the Romani people were in the Holocaust. So they have put two words. For the Yiddish people, they say the Holocaust. For the Romani people, they call it, I don't know what they say in English, folkmord.
Folkmord.
Yes. So they have two different words for the same Auschwitz and the same gas chamber. So I don't know, but now we work very much with this anti-Ziganism that we call in Sweden. So now we show the people that it's very important to understand that we also did have a half a star on the coat.
Thank you. Do we have a last question or comment in the audience? Imran?
Yes, two short questions. One question, how do you like the movie? You personally, how do you like the movie? I'm also Roma, and for sure I'm understanding also the dialects, or I also other questions to you, but I come directly to you and ask you in Romanes. maybe to understand it better. How do you like the film? First question. And second question is, the movie, how I understood, is published 2015. And the Holocaust scene, I also was a little bit confused to see the scene, because 2014, the Swedish Parliament also published the White Book on the victims. Also Soraya Post, the parliamentarian, also was there. Why to use a picture which is not really related to the Swedish history, but the White Book, which was published 1 year ago, it's not mentioned because it's easier for the audience. If I'm a Swedish person and I know the history, and why it will be for me easier to get a relation which was public 1 year ago, and not something which was 70-something years ago. You know, this is also when I've seen the picture and the scene, I was a little bit, okay, what she wants to tell me. Maybe the girl was Holocaust survivor, because I know some of the Sinti in Roma, mostly Roma from Romania, moved to Sweden before the war. And I thought maybe she was a Holocaust survivor which moved to Sweden and lived there. Maybe this could be a link, but I missed the link in this point.
Okay, we didn't ask Jonas too much. And 2012, the 10th of June, exactly this day, me and our president, Marie Leisner, Soraya Post was with us, and we went to give this book to Nyamki Saboni in the government because we have been in a border of the Roma issue, the Roma delegation. And we did leave this 2012. Erik Ullenhag was the one who said, now we will start Roma inclusion in Sweden. In 2014, everybody was cooking a lot. It was about the White Book. We have been registered by the police, me, Michael, all my grandchildren, everybody. We was registered at the police in Sweden. We were all over 4,000 people registered, and he didn't want to bring that thing up one more time. So he think, okay, the Holocaust, a lot of people have been in the Holocaust. We make picture of the Holocaust because we could make the picture of all bad things in Sweden, but we didn't want to show a lot of bad things about Sweden because we was in a new era and we wanted to show something good. And the good thing was that we was in the police register, registered everybody. But now it's forgotten, and I was the only one. All the Roma people say, burn all these papers. And I say, no. And they ask me, why? You don't know. If you are historical and work on the university, if they don't find any document, they say, this thing has never happened. So they have not burned everything.
Well, maybe I can add, I think he made quite a critical comment about Sweden. I mean, when you think of these big objects, the cheese slicer, the broom, and what was there also, this big tire. And this makes me think of what you call the narcissism of small differences. You know, how you think of your national belonging through comparing to the neighbors, and you compare about little things, and how your pride lies in tiny things, like we have the biggest cheese slicer, and if the Germans build a bigger chair, we have to burn it because it's, you know, it's humiliating. I think this was quite a witty and subtle way to criticize nationalism, you know. But again, it's such a fine way, maybe people don't detect it immediately. So if you do such a criticism, how to say, I mean, if you say it, you can be immediately attacked. But if you create such images, not many people can read them, I suppose.
Thank you. Okay, let's take one more question or comment.
Okay. Sorry. So I'm not so good film analytiker, and my English is also bad, so that I try. So that I need somebody like you, like Radmila, to understand the stuffs. But I have another question. How you react, first of all, like a Romni, and like a Roma community, for example, in the part of the movie where the grandmother is on the ground, and maybe it's my leg, probably is broken, and then the grandchildren just come and say, "Oh, okay." I mean, this is not usual. Not just Roma usual. I mean, it's not usual. Normally, it's not usual. You know, also in other communities. I come from part of medicine, so that I know how react the people, different people. And how do you react like a Roma? And especially in the Roma community, this is not possible to react like this. And how do you there was maybe some reaction when you?
And she was alone, not with the family. The family was 1,000 kilometers far away.
What mean this?
I could say like this. A movie is a movie. And he wanted her on the floor, and we should not do this Roma reaction that we usually do, because then we was going to phone the father to come also this long journey. And so we let him do like this that he wanted, because we can't change a whole movie. We need to do a little of what they expect us to do. But the sad thing is that sometimes you do things and suddenly it happens. So after a while, when we meet this old woman, we was on a journey, she did break the foot. Oh. So this was a bad omen that she was on the floor. So it's a movie. What could I say more? Because in real life, even an ambulance, when you call it, it come very quick and not in slow motion.
Thank you. And here we have a question as well, or a comment.
I just wondered when it comes to these large objects and this car race, if it's also describing the relationship between the Romani people and the larger Swedish society.
This I don't know, because I cannot identify the other participants there. I haven't thought about that. Maybe it's also such a commentary. Yeah, I can't tell you about this one exactly.
I can tell you, they are living in the wood. And what will they do? It's a very common thing that young people gather together and make a car race. So it's the big happening on Friday night. So that's why, and then they have a hot dog. Good.
Okay, thank you very much. And in the end, the police chased both of them. So, okay, I will invite Radmila to make one last comment before we close.
Well, I was thinking about the grandmother laying on the floor, just one example. I mean, what people expect somehow is realism. So you match the image with what you see at home or what you experience at home. And I think your answer, it's a film. And actually, it's a film about films. So it has a very different perspective and a very different goal. It's commenting on how filmmaking is made. And I think that in this particular scene, it was important, the waiting. And somehow I noticed this time watching the film that you had a lot of scenes in which people were waiting. And it was a very good way to show changing the scene, how the grandmother was already smoking with many more pillows under the head, just to show that they had to wait along for the ambulance. And you have a lot of waiting scenes in the film, and it has to do with the time, it has to do with the clock, it has to do with the chiming, and somehow I have a feeling that it has also to do with processing the Holocaust. Because for me, the garbage helicopter is the metaphor for the Holocaust. It's this thing which they cannot solve in the crossword. It's where the poet comes with a vision. It's where the grandmother dreams, and she dreams of this garbage helicopter. And it's this apocalypse, human-made apocalypse, which we don't see in the film, but it's there. You can hear it. So it's not a natural force. It's a machine. And it's this machine which makes out of human beings garbage, treats human beings as garbage. And I think this is the thing that people maybe are waiting to be processed. It has very much to do with the artworks, with the art thieves, with how you treat art, with how you treat images of humans from the concentration camps put into an art house. And it's actually a very complex film, even though it looks so simple and so as if nothing happens. But there's a lot that happens there. So this is what I was somehow trying to communicate, that it needs a bit more patience, it needs a little bit more knowledge and thinking, but it's actually a film that gives very deep and very radical questions and answers. And actually doesn't give so much answers because I said it works through images, so you cannot pin it to one meaning. You have many meanings, you have many ways to interpret these symbols, these images, the garbage helicopter, for instance. So it gives you this space, more space. I think images give you more space to imagine, to think, to fill in with the meaning that you carry with your personal experience. That's the last thing I want to say. Sorry, I'm very excited about the film. I can't hide it.
Thank you, and your excitement is contagious. I think we all have a lot of food for thought. I want to thank you, Angelina. Thank you, Mikael. Thank you, Radmila, for accepting our invitation, for sharing your experiences, your expertise, and your insights. Thank you for bearing with us for so long. It's been a pleasure to have you here. I see a lot of familiar faces, people who have come to our events in the past. Rest assured, even though this is the last event of this film series, we will continue with film events in autumn. So follow us on Instagram, stay tuned. Over the summer, if you want, on our website, we have a blog with a lot of interesting texts about films, about festivals. So you have a lot of reading material over the summer. And I hope to see you in the fall. Thank you very much to David Engbongers. Thank you to Anneli Strömquist, to the Swedish Embassy and the Nordic Embassies for hosting us, for the collaboration. It was a pleasure working with you. Thank you very much to Alina and the Protestant Academy Berlin for making this film series happen. And thank you again to all of you for coming for the first time, for the second time, for the third time. It's always a pleasure to see you and to discuss with you. Thank you very much. Have a good night.